What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. I like to help people using a spiritual perspective. And today I want to use that perspective to talk to you guys about relaxation, essentially surrendering and letting go. Okay, because to me, my whole life, surrendering, letting go, very hard thing to do. Okay, and it's actually the one thing that has been fundamentally driven, is sort of like this thing that has always been there to carry me into the next phase of my life. Okay, it's always been about letting go for me. It's always been about surrendering, and yet so much resistance to that process. Okay, and there is so much resistance to that process in general. Okay, a lot of people don't really want to let go. Okay, it's easier to hold on to something tightly as much as you can because it's familiar, because it's comfortable. Okay, but when we say like letting go and surrendering, and so many people do say it, it sort of starts to lose its meaning, right? It doesn't really mean as much as the initial weight of it seems, because yes, you know you should let go, yes, you know you should surrender to the process, whatever that means, but yet you can't really find a way to do that. You don't know how. Maybe you've tried meditating, maybe you go for walks, maybe you think a lot about something, maybe you write things down, maybe you're artistic, creative, maybe you try to do things, and yet still you find this sort of weight inside of you that you just can't seem to let go of. You just can't seem to do anything about. It seems to plague you, haunt you, like some sort of blackbird at your shoulder that just keeps sort of mimicking your own intentions back at you in some shadowy, dark way, and you just can't really seem to actually get out of this sort of tide pool of just control, right? Because control makes us feel safe, makes us feel secure. But the best way to let go, to really truly surrender, is to do the paradox of relaxation. Okay, because relaxation is a paradox. People don't know how to let go, and they don't know how to surrender, and they don't know how to relax for one simple reason. Okay, and it's because people treat those things as an outcome. Okay, so what I mean by that is people, they want to relax. Okay, so they take a bath. Okay, the hot bath sounds relaxing. Throw some bubbles in there, a little Marvin Gaye on the stereo, and maybe a little glass of red wine if you are a single mom. But that sounds like a nice relaxing thing, right? But the thing is that when you go in there and when you do that, when you go with the intention of relaxation, okay, you're essentially saying to yourself, I'm going to take this bath. This is going to help me surrender. This is going to help me relax, and I'll be relaxed after. I'm going to take this to relax. You've already created an outcome that you're now trying to control. Even at a sort of minuscule level, you're trying to control something there. Okay, because you're essentially saying, I'm going to do this to get X. So you're trying to do Y to get X, right? The way relaxation works, the way that surrendering, letting go really works, it's not doing something. Okay, it's actually doing nothing. And in fact, doing nothing is still something, which sounds ridiculous. But to explain even further into detail, it's relaxation is essentially doing something for the sake of doing it rather than to get anything out of it. And that's the paradox of relaxation, because we all know we should relax, we should stop carrying tension in our bodies, we should stop holding on to situations that don't make us feel good. But that's all shit that we know intellectually, mentally. But that's not how you work. That's not how humans work. Humans are driven by emotions. We are driven by our heart space. As much as you like to think that you're not, all your actions are emotion based. That's what action is. It is feeling something and then going, oh, I'm angry, punch somebody in the face, I'm horny, you have sex with a goat, whatever it is, right? It's an emotional thing. It's an emotional reaction. So it's always based from the heart space, okay? So when we know things intellectually, know things mentally, but it becomes a process of feeling relaxed. Okay, it's not about knowing you're relaxed. It's not about becoming relaxed. It's about feeling relaxed, and you cannot feel anything really until you're present in that experience. Okay, like if you're on a roller coaster, what do you feel? Do you feel excitement? Do you feel joy? Do you feel fear? Do you feel all those things wrapped up into one? Well, then you're feeling that in that experience, right? When you're having sex, right, you're feeling something: pleasure, emotions, love, something physical, right? You're feeling things, right? Anything that you're doing in the moment involves feeling, and it involves the moment, right? So when you're taking a hot bath, all right, because I've made this mistake so many times with many things. It's all about doing something for you, doing something to make you feel better. with the intention of just doing it rather than to get something out of it. And that's people's a problem with meditation in general, is they don't know how to meditate. I mean, why is something so hard when all you're doing is sitting still and essentially doing nothing? And how come people can't really seem to get anything out of it right away or even consistently? Well, the idea is that when you go into meditation and you think to yourself, well, I'm going to get answers from this meditation, and I'm going to get clarity from this meditation, and I'm going to feel relaxed, I'm going to do this to feel relaxed. It doesn't often work like that. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky, but more often than not, you're not going to be in that energy to just be able to like feel relaxed just because you did something. And to prove that point, how many times have you done the opposite? How many times have you done something that is deemed as progress? How much productivity do we have to do in life in order to be something, to feel something, right? To know something about yourself, right? How many times have we had to take action to go and do things? And what's happened is that hasn't really gotten us anywhere, right? How many times in my life you know, I've went to the gym, right? You think, oh, this will be healthier, this will help me out, this will make me feel better, and you go, you lose weight, or you lose some calories, you do whatever it is you do at the gym, and then you get home, and then I would do something like I would just eat a bunch of shitty foods. Nothing would really change because I didn't feel relaxed, I didn't feel better. I just did something for the sake of doing it because I was taught, and that exercise is good. So you go do something that everyone else does, because that's what you think you're supposed to do. And so your goal, it's a goal-oriented thing, is doing something to get something, right? And that way of living is what we're already plagued with. Okay, we're plagued with that every day, and some of it you really can't do anything about. I mean, if you want money, well, you're probably gonna have to go do something, right? And that's fine. It really is, because that's the way things work, and it would be really boring and kind of useless if you didn't have things like that. But because there's so much of that, and there's a lot of it, beyond even what you probably know, beyond things like working, right? The gym is something too. We all do it. We all go to the gym. Not everyone, but we all go to the gym, and those go to the gym. Many of them don't really see the results they need, especially in the particular parts of their life where they're struggling emotionally with something, right? And it all comes back to that emotional release, right? And you can't release emotions. You can't surrender your emotions. You can't surrender negativity, hopelessness, feelings of doubt, self-denial, self-pity. You can't release any of this stuff. This stuff slowing you down, holding you back, unless you're surrendering it. And you can't surrender or let go unless you're relaxed, unless your body isn't tense. Right? You have to feel free. You have to feel light, loose. You have to be able to sort of just exist without there being a need to exist, without there being a need to do something. Right? Relaxation is essentially, yes, it looks like you're doing something, but really you're not doing anything, right? I've had people tell me that, like, reading a book, for instance, I like reading, and I've started to get into it again. And people would tell me that, reading a book, it's like, why don't you go do something with your time, right? It's weird, but I am. It's reading, but it doesn't seem like I'm doing anything. But I'm doing it just for me. And you know what ends up happening when I do those things just for me? I end up feeling relaxed. Okay, because my mind is going somewhere else. I'm engaged with a story that I believe is good. I enjoy that story, and I read for as long as I end up reading. And I'm in that moment, and I'm feeling something, whether or not that's a connection to the characters, a relation to my own life. I'm feeling something. I'm having an emotion. So I'm living in the present moment, having some sort of emotion, and I'm relaxing. Even though my intention wasn't to relax, I don't read to relax, right? That because then I wouldn't relax. I read because I enjoy reading. It just so happens that it relaxes me. And that's the thing. The things that bring you joy, the things that do make you happy, are going to generally speaking, going to be the things that actually relax you. So while you may think that doing something will relax you, if you're already thinking about it at the point like, I have to do this in order to relax because some spiritual asshole on YouTube wearing a blue shirt told me that I have to relax, well, no, you don't have to go do something to relax. That's not at all the point. You have to do nothing to relax, and even nothing is something, right? That's kind of that loop back to what I was saying a couple minutes earlier. Reading a book is essentially doing nothing from many people's perspective. I mean, you're just reading a book, right? It's sort of like a hobby or something, right? But you like it. I enjoy reading a book, and that relaxes me. It makes me feel calm. It makes me feel inspired. Even, in fact, this video that I'm making is right after reading a chapter in a book. Okay, it's an inspiration created from something, and I feel more at peace with my process of just being alive. just in general. Okay, it really has nothing to do with being awakened or being spiritual, or doing any kind of, any kind of label or anything, right? Relaxation is relaxation, and it's relaxation for the sake of relaxation, for the sake of joy, for the sake of experience. You don't do anything to relax, and that's the paradox, right? You can't meditate thinking that it's going to bring you anything. You meditate to exist, to clear yourself of everything, to just do it because you want to. And that's the thing, unless you want to do something, you're never going to do it. It's how many times do you tell yourself, well, maybe you should go do this, but your body doesn't feel like it, right? It's because you don't feel like doing it. Your heart is an elephant, right? It's a bull. It's a dinosaur. It's going to do whatever it wants, and you're just the guy on top of the elephant. It's trying to steer it in the right direction. But right, generally speaking, if the elephant's going to go into those bushes and go fuck another elephant, that's what the elephant's going to do. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to go fuck that other elephant because you're horny and that's what you want. And that's sort of the process. You can't rely on your mind to control everything, and yet you can't let your heart run wild either. It needs to be a balance of the two. You need to be able to steer yourself in the right direction, and yet also at the same time be able to go freely, right? And that's the point of relaxation. Surrendering and letting go allows that to happen. It allows your mind to stop trying to tense on everything, and it allows your heart to stop feeling like somebody's pulling it, right? You kind of get that image of like a dog, right? Your dog maybe wants to go wherever it wants to go. It's pulling itself in a certain direction. You've got a leash around its neck, and you're pulling really hard, right? Maybe it's time to loosen up that leash. It's time to relax your grip on that leash, okay? And so that's kind of the crux of it all, is learning how to relax that leash, and it becomes a sort of a process, an internal process of slowly getting it go, until you realize that it's actually just the easier for you, your whole being, everything, to just relax yourself and let the dog kind of get a little bit farther away from you, do its own thing. It'll just be a better time. And sometimes maybe you have to pick up the pace a little bit. And if that's the case, that's the case. And that's flow. That's for life. That's letting go. That's surrendering. And so, again, when you relax, don't try to, don't think about it as relaxing. Relaxation is a symptom. Okay, what you're doing is you're trying to make yourself feel good. Okay, so rather than think of things as goal oriented, think of things as feeling oriented. Okay, because those feelings are actually going to be what carries you to the next step. Okay, even if your mind has all these plans and objects and goals and determinations and dreams and all this other shit, that stuff's there no matter what. Okay, but it's about feeling better. So rather than set yourself a goal, set yourself a feeling. I want to feel better, and then you'll be able to sort of know what makes you feel better, and you'll be more likely to listen to yourself. Okay, because now your mind is like, all right, well, I want to do this, and I'm probably going to do it no matter what, so I may as well try to help me get there quicker, better, healthier. Okay, and that's kind of the idea. And fear gets in the way, control gets in the way, all that stuff, right? But that's topics for a different day. We're not here to really talk about fear specifically. We're here to talk about tips on just learning how to let go and doing it for the sake of doing it. Okay, because we live in a society where everything is determined by how much you're doing, right? And even your own life is probably determined that. How many videos can you make during a day, right? If you're on YouTube, how much music can you make? How much writing can you do? How much money can you go and make? How many friends can you go and have? Like people have a hard time just doing nothing for the sake of nothing. So ideally, the purpose is to shift out of that energy and to shift into an energy where you feel like doing nothing is okay, where doing nothing is actually a basis of peace and relaxation, where you can feel more comfortable because you're going to end up doing things that you have to do anyway, and you're going to end up doing things that are goal oriented because that's just the way society is. And truthfully, you get ahead in life if you do those things, but you don't feel better about yourself if you do things like that all the time in every kind of way. It's good to give yourself a rest, to give yourself a break, to integrate things. And doing nothing is actually doing something, because if it's feeling oriented, you're still enjoying some process, finding some sort of joy, and becoming more of who you are. So it's important to give yourself that time and to treat surrendering and letting go as not a goal, but as simply a symptom of a process of feeling better. So that's a choice that you have, and that choice is anything from getting up an hour earlier to reading a book to relaxing. If you feel relaxed, if you're surrendering, you're letting go, that relaxation makes your body feel less tense. It allows you to get clearer answers. It allows you to feel better about your next steps. It allows other kinds of energies, positive energies, to come into your life, whether that's people, romantic, or platonic, opportunities for career, money, ideas, creative inspirations, changing things about yourself, new habits, right? It's anything new, better for you will come in for you once you allow it to, and you can't do that if you're tense all the time. So treat relaxation as a feeling orientated thing. Don't try to get anything out of it. Treat that. The relaxation is a symptom of doing something you love. I hope this video helps. There's a cat at the door scratching. I gotta go open up that door. Talk to you guys soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. All right, guys. Bye-bye.